The digital nomad dream is dead from lack of community, loneliness, lack of productivity, and the stress of not knowing where you're going to be, how you're going to get there, or planning it all out month to month, week to week, or God forbid, day to day. Now in this video, I'm going to share with you what 9 million people from the US alone have done in order to replace the digital nomad dream, because this is the new trend. Now, the things that I said in the beginning of this video are undoubtedly what have cratered the digital nomad dream. But now what has replaced it is something even better. And before I share that with you, I want to have a quick talk with you about digital nomads. Now, this may come as a surprise to some of you, but there are different types of digital nomads. In fact, I would call them different categories. So the categories of digital nomads, in my opinion, are going to be backpackers. And those are essentially the people who are just living by the seat of their pants. They're going from country to country, or a different city to a different city in a same country quite frequently. And obviously, you aren't going to be able to build relationships, a community, or have any stability if that is how you are living your life. Next is a perpetual traveler. And this is someone who gets a visa in a specific country and they stay there until that visa expires. Now, they aren't necessarily going from city to city in that country for the duration of their visa. This might be a 30-day visa, it might be a 90-day visa, it might be a 180-day visa. But what they are doing is they are providing stability. They're also able to build community and relationships because they are going to be there for an extended period of time. In fact, this person might even use visa extensions and then they'll just go to the next country. So they don't really have a home base, but they do have some sort of community. They're probably less lonely and they certainly have some stability. And then this brings me to the ultimate boss of the digital nomad community, and this is the rotator, as my dad or someone like Nomad Capitalist Andrew Henderson would say. And this is someone who has multiple home bases. So maybe they spent time as a perpetual traveler and found 2 or 3 different cities that they love, and they want to split their time between those countries. So what they do is they get residency in at least one country so that they can be there for as long as they want. And then obviously by doing that, they can build community, they can build relationships, they have incredible stability. And you might be wondering, well, I want my home base to be the United States. Well, over 9 million people left the United States because it was not best for them, whether that's tax purposes, whether that's lifestyle choices. But this is not a video about whether the American dream is dead or not. But that brings me to the final point that I need to make. And that is the fact that before you start this journey, you need to figure out what your goal is. And like I said, over 9 million people decided their goal was to leave the United States. Now, maybe you're interested in leaving the United States, so you want to go visit different countries. Well, I would recommend going for as long as possible, because frankly, for myself, when I go to a country, if I haven't been there for over a week, I don't even count that as a country visited, because there's no way I'm going to actually experience that culture, the people, nor am I going to have enough experiences in order to have a justified opinion about that country. So when I see a backpacker talking about they've been to blank amount of countries and they've spent 2 days in the country, that does not count. You have no justifiable opinion, in my opinion, because that is such a minimal amount of time. So if you decide to start this journey for yourself, start with the end in mind. Now, that does not mean pre-plan your entire schedule, because you might go somewhere and you might hate it and you might want to leave. But what that does mean is do your research. Figure out places that you are interested, whether that's because of the visa situation, the residency situation, the tax situation, the business advantages. Do your research and then get your feet on the ground in these places. Now, if you're a younger guy or gal, obviously you can go day to day and just backpack along. Frankly, that never appealed to me for reasons I mentioned earlier in this video. If you go to a city for a day or two, are you really having that great of an experience? Probably not, in my opinion, but to each their own. But it is a great way to experience different cultures, open up your eyes to the rest of the world, and all that good stuff. So there is valuable experience to be had there. Which brings me to another point. Just because this is my point of view, if your goal is to become a digital nomad, even if that's a backpacker, pursue it. Don't let some idiot on the internet like me tell you what to do. Don't let society, don't let your parents, don't let anyone tell you what to do unless you are harming someone or infringing upon their property. Then you probably shouldn't do those things. But if it's the way you want to live your life, feel free to live your life however you want. I'm just sharing with you my experiences and my opinions so that you can maximize your experience and so that you don't get lonely. And if you're trying to build a business at the same time, you can stay productive and you don't get stressed out about things that are easily controllable. And so that's why I say the digital nomad dream is dead. People are done with it because they don't want to be lonely. They don't want to lack community. They don't want additional stress in their life. And that's why it's pivoted from digital nomads to not even necessarily perpetual travelers, but people seeking residencies in other countries that offer a higher quality of life and a better cost of living than you can get in the United States. Which brings me to the final thing I want to mention in this video before I wrap it up. And that's the fact that for some reason, digital nomads have gotten the label of not being able to afford life in their own country. And personally, for me, that couldn't be less true. And most nomads that I've actually met, that couldn't be less true. A lot of people go to places like Dubai, way more expensive than where most people are from. But the reason that they leave is for better business advantages, better tax situations, better quality of life, better cost of living. So for example, you can live in San Diego like I did for, let's just say it was $5,000 a month. Or I could go to Portugal and live on the beach for a fraction of that cost. Or a place like Buenos Aires or Bangkok where you can get a really nice place in a really nice area and have someone cooking your meals, getting massages a couple times a week, having your laundry done, having a housekeeper, which I already probably mentioned, for way less than the cost of what it was back home. Not to mention, for some of you, your dating preferences. So there's a whole host of reasons, and most of the time it's not because people can't afford their own country. Frankly, I probably spend more now than I did in the United States. But now I have 3 houses and I don't have to do anything. All of my needs are met. And for the same lifestyle in a desirable area in the United States, you would have to have a lot of money. All right, so that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And in fact, I have another video where I talk about digital nomads, and I'll probably link that somewhere around here. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. And as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Peace. Much love.